Ladies and gentlemen, today I played in my first chess game in-person tournament ever. It was a very cool experience, and I'm here to tell the story and share kind of what went on. So I was given a provisional rating of 1200, and I played against a guy who was a 1658, so I knew he was pretty good, and I went in thinking, I don't care what happens. I just hope that he doesn't play the Siciliano defense against me, the Sicilian defense. And lo and behold, he played the Sicilian defense. So we're going to go through the game, go through my analysis and kind of what I thought about the game, see where things really went wrong for me. So let's check it out. Starting off the game, I always start with e4. Again, I was hoping he would just play e5 like normal. Whoops, e5 like normal. But he did not want to do what I had planned. So he played c4 or c5. He played the Sicilian. I decided to play this Alpin variation. I know a little bit of theory. Like, I just know kind of what I'm supposed to do sometimes. So I just thought, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do, and I'll try and do that. Obviously, the idea is to push this pawn forward and strike at the center right here on this square. So, and afterwards, he said that he didn't know the Alpin variation, or he didn't know what he was supposed to do in the Alpin variation. So I guess my opening was a success. And you'll see that in the eval bar as well. He played e6. I thought it was kind of a weird move, but I guess he's trying to strike here in the center. I just followed through with my plan, played d4. He took, I took, and so the whole idea is I have a nice solid center here. I have two pawns in the center, and we can roll with that. He played queen c7, and you can see the eval bar already says that the game was in my favor. So opening so far has been a success. I decided to play knight c3, just developing and protecting this pawn like normal. I was a little bit worried that he was going to go here, bishop, pin this knight to the king, and then start putting some pressure here on this baby. But he didn't. He played a6, preventing my knight from moving to this square, where I could potentially do a little bit of attacking on his queen or sorts of that. So I decided to play a3, stop his bishop from coming to this square so that that pin was not a possible thing. Apparently that wasn't a very good move. There was other good moves that I should have played. Moving forward, he played b5. Again, eval bar in my direction. So things were going well at this point. I decided to play bishop d3, further protecting this pawn, thinking that he's going to put a bishop here, which he did. Put his bishop right there. I played knight f3, normal development. I played knight f3, normal development. He played knight f6. I played queen e2, further protecting this pawn. I now have three defenders of that pawn. Okay, so that was my thought process. He played g6, going to play this dragon variation. I think it's called the dragon variation, and put his bishop right there, fianchetto that bishop. I castled, and he did just that with the fianchetto. Now, what I usually do against people who fianchetto like this is I'll bring my bishop forward to maybe like right here, put my queen here. That way I can just trade off this bishop, because this bishop for them, for black, in the Sicilian variation is super, super strong in this dragon variation. So that was exactly what I did. I played bishop e3. He decides to try and make a little bit of a push in the middle. I moved over, following suit with my normal plan. Again, I'm trying to take this guy, put him right here, and force a trade of that bishop. He thwarted the whole plan with this move, with knight g4. Right when he made it, I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's not a very good move. But then I realized he's covering this square with the knight. So I was like, dang, my plan's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to trade off that bishop. So I guess I'll still have to play a game. Eval bar's still in my direction, so I'm still winning the game. I think this was a successful opening, if you ask me. So I decided to play bishop f4. I can't remember what my thought process was behind that move. I didn't want his knight to take my bishop. I know bishops are better than knights generally in the early game or in the middle game, so I didn't want him to take my bishop. So that was why I played that move. He played knight d7, apparently a pretty bad move. The thing about these Sicilian positions is I just don't know how to take advantage of that being a bad move, you know? So we move on. I played rook c1. Kind of low-level idea, right? Just move the knight and get some discovered attack on the queen. But this guy's a 1600. He's going to see that coming. So I suspect that wasn't a very good move, and the eval bar would suggest that wasn't a very good move. So he plays over here, queen b7. That discovered attack is no longer there. I decided to play d5, which is a bad move, as the eval bar would suggest. probably destabilizing this square. This square was stable. His knight couldn't get to it. When I played d5, destabilized it. Now he can easily hop right in, right? He goes forward with castling. I play rook e1. I think, again, just, I don't know what I had in mind, honestly. He gets his knight to that square. Now he's putting pressure on this bishop. I didn't want to trade bishops, so I moved back. Bishop c2. He pushes forward. Now this bishop that I have is rendered basically useless. I don't know. I thought about putting him here, but then he just pushes me out with a pawn. Thought about bringing him back here, but then the trade happens and he gets bishop for knight, which is what I didn't want. So I decided to drop the bishop back here. I don't know. I thought maybe it'd be a further defense of my king. At this point, he's winning the game, right? I missed this. This was the move where I was like, dang, his bishop is just lining down my queen and my rook. I totally missed it. I don't know really where I went wrong, I guess, to miss that move. Probably when I played queen d2 way earlier. You know, I just totally missed the that. But I thought, you know, the game's not over. I can come back from this. So I move my queen down. I'm deciding I'm going to just take it back with the queen. He takes it. I take it. He's definitely winning the game, right? He's now has a commanding win on this game. He moves king g7. I didn't expect it, but I guess it kind of makes sense maybe. Wouldn't know why. I decided to try and kick his knight out, and things just kind of started falling apart a little bit. I played b4 thinking I could put pressure on his knight. I guess that's not a good move. Why? I don't really know. Your guess is as good as mine. But he goes back, knight d7. I played bishop here. Not really sure what I was planning with that move, but it's a move. He plays the rook, and now I'm seeing he's going to start putting pressure on this knight. All right, he's going to bring his rook and start putting pressure on this baby, and I'm like, dang. So I move my queen up. I moved my queen up here to d2 so that I could move my rook here and further defend this knight. And my opponent after the game told me that was a silly idea because bringing this rook over to defend a knight is like using your $1 million piece for 20 bucks. All right, the knight is a $20 piece, the rook is a $1 million piece. It was a bad idea. So he drops his rook down, and he's about to double up. King h1. King h1 was, in my mind, I didn't want the king there because I had my own attacking ideas of eventually going knight over here or knight over here, pushing this pawn forward, dropping the bishop back, and attacking his queen. But I couldn't drop my bishop back and attack his queen. Pardon, that's a terrible arrow. And attack his queen if that pawn was pinned to my king. So that was my idea with king h1. Terrible move. Terrible move. Need to think defensively and offensively in chess. That's a tough thing for me to do. So he goes forward with his plan, plays rook c8. I brought my rook just like I planned, and you can see the eval bar is kicking my butt now. Then he goes queen here. Now I mustered up this master plan in my mind. My master plan was the following, and mind you, I've only ever played 3-minute games of chess. My master plan was the following. I saw a fork here if I could get my knight to this square. Fork of queen and rook. So I'm like, okay, if I sack the bishop, fork the queen and rook, he has this attacking my queen. So I was like, okay, he's going to go here and attack my queen right here. But I was like, okay, but I'll win his queen, right? And once he takes my queen, well, then what's he going to win after that? He's going to win my knight. So I was like, okay, he wins a queen and a knight, but I win a queen and a rook for a knight, because he's going to take my rook back. I was like, dang, that's beautiful, right? So I sack here, take, fork. He takes here to take my queen. He takes my queen. I take his queen. He comes back here and takes my knight. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine, take it because I'm going to go here and take your rook. Then you take my knight and fine, I won my piece back. I was super excited about that. And so I sack my piece. You can see the eval bar tells the whole story. He, A takes b5. And I'm like, I still did not see my fate at this point. I was like, dude, this guy's falling right into my trap. Me thinking I'm going to trap a 1600 player. I take, knight takes b5. He just brought the rook down and just brought the hammer. Rook takes c1, delivers check. And at this moment, I was like, oh, dang. Like, I screwed up. So I had no choice but to play king h2. He brings his queen. I'm trying my best. He brings his rook. Last chance, just flailing pieces towards him. I'm bringing my queen out thinking, I don't know, I could sack here or, you know, sack the knight, sack the something, right? Just trying to get something going. I don't know, push this pawn. I had no idea. I was just like, I could see the eval bar in my head at this point. So I was like, I know this is lost. I'm down 8 points of material. I'm going to try my best, do as good as I possibly can. So I brought the queen out. He just pushes this. I brought my queen here, knowing none of this funny business with this pawn because this knight defends that square. So I was like, okay, well, if he goes there, I'll sack the knight. At the very least, I'm going to go out swinging, right? I'm going to at least be able to get some checks. Who knows? Maybe I could get some weird kind of like perpetual check. I don't know. Something over here, right? Some kind of perpetual. I'm just trying to draw the game. I'm just trying to survive. And what does he do? Oh, yeah, then he goes rook a1. I did a long think on this move. I forgot that this knight was defending this square so that I could, you know, sack if I needed. I thought so long about what move am I going to do. I ended up playing knight d2, removing the defense of this square and allowing him to effectively trap my queen in the corner. Queen's trapped, can't go anywhere. Can't go here, it's donezo by the knight. Can't go here, it's donezo by the knight. Can't go here, it's donezo by his pawn. So I'm like, well, I'm screwed. But I didn't want to resign. I wanted to play it out and see, you know, see what I could do. Maybe force a draw or something like that. I don't know. Keep it hope. I just wanted to play it out. So he pushes that, and I was like, all right, whatever. I don't know. One final f3, and he delivers checkmate on g1. So, yeah, it was a good game by him. He kicked my butt. And, you know, where did everything really start to go wrong? Well, you could say it started to go wrong right here, where I sacked this bishop with my master plan. Because here, you know, it's still a game. You could say it started to go wrong here with this x-ray of my queen and rook. But realistically, I think it started to go wrong with some funny business right here. d5 was a bad move. And I don't know why. If you know why d5 was a bad move, I mean, I guess I do because it destabilized this square. What was a better alternative move than d5? e5? It's defended by knight, bishop, pawn. I mean, there's just a lot of attackers on that square, right? e5? I don't know. h3 right there? Is that a better move? I considered a4 because I can take with knight and attack his queen. As a beginner, you tend to get kind of, you know, single-minded when you're playing the game, and you just move by move, and you think one move attacks are going to do something, and they just don't. You need to steadily improve your position. And I, like, sincerely think, like, going back to this game, you know, the whole starting phase, like, eval bars in my direction. I'm steadily improving. Comes to middle game, I just don't know what to do with myself. So if you have any tips, let me know. Anything I could have done better. What was the killer move? And, you know, what should I have done instead of that move that got my butt kicked? So thanks so much. Thank you for paying attention to my first tournament game ever. I hope you have a good day. Be safe, be smart, make some good decisions.